everybody, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I'm sure you can already tell from the title what this video is about. That's right. So today I am filming the Urban Decay Born to Run palette first impressions for you guys. Let's see if it lives up to the hype that I have given it, because I've given it a lot of hype. I'm very excited. Even though I'm just dying to break into this, I really wanted to film a first impressions of it for you. I cannot wait a minute longer to try this eyeshadow. It's been like probably been like a week since I bought this, and that's too long to wait to try this. I'm too excited. Alright, so first off, I have already done my base, I've done my foundation, concealer, set my concealer, my brows, and if you guys want to know what I think of the lasting power of all the products that I used in my last video, stay tuned till the end, because I will let you guys know the lasting power of them. I've been using them pretty consistently since I filmed that video, and so I've kind of gotten a feel of the lasting power. So this whole palette is very travel themed. It very much clings to the idea of this is the only palette you need to travel with. It has every look that you could possibly need. It has a big mirror, so you don't have to worry about packing a mirror. So this palette is claiming to do a lot. If it's claiming to be able to do any eyeshadow look, that's a lot of eyeshadow looks, you know? So without further ado, let's break into this packaging. Oh, that's really cool. The inside of the box, I don't know if you guys can tell, but the inside of that, it's like a map of a city or something, and I think that's very creative to do that. I don't think very many companies would have thought to maybe put that kind of design on the inside of their packaging, but there's like, I mean, I can't really show you the inside, but there's literally like a map in there, and I think that's very creative. It sticks to their whole theme with that. They could have just done a simple white inside, which I'm sure would have been much less expensive to make too, but they chose to go for the map theme on the inside, which I really like. I love how that sticks to their theme, and it's very creative. It's everything I wanted it to be. Okay, I'm just talking about the packaging at this point, but like, just look at that. That's so gorgeous. I can appreciate this may not be everyone's aesthetic, but I am a huge lover of travel. I'm a huge lover of anything travel themed. My whole living room, before the fire happened of course, my whole living room was just covered in pictures and posters that were travel themed, and I used to have a trunk that had different cities from all over the world on it, and I had these lampstands that were the Eiffel Tower, and even my lampshades, they were like Paris themed, and I just love everything travel themed. I love to travel. I don't get to travel very often anymore because it is very expensive to do so. More recently it's been like road trips to go see family and stuff like that, but obviously any type of travel I just love. I love to get away. I love to go to new places, go to places that you don't get to see very often, and so this whole aesthetic of this palette, of this packaging, I am just absolutely obsessed with. So the entire packaging is covered in photos, and in the description on the back it said it was photos from, I guess, the creators or maybe some of the admins or whatever at Urban Decay, some of their own personal travel photos. You can even see on the back here they have more of those pictures, and I absolutely love that idea. Not only that, but the packaging itself, it feels so heavy duty, which I think is so important if you're claiming that it's the perfect palette for travel, because it feels like I could drop this and it wouldn't break. I'm not going to, because I care too much about it, but there's some palettes where if I take them on vacation or on a trip to see family, that I do worry that they're gonna break, or you know, something's gonna happen in the traveling process to where the palette's gonna get messed up. This, however, feels very heavy duty. It's a hard plastic packaging. It feels very sturdy, and I would pretty confidently take this on a trip with me and be very confident that it wouldn't break or bust or whatever. Okay, now we're gonna open it. Okay, shadows are gorgeous. I'm more excited than I was before because, okay, in the pictures on the back, it made it seem like the shadows were gonna be really small to me, but they are actually an incredibly good size. Look at how gorgeous those are, and there's so many color options. It's amazing. Also, look at how massive this mirror is. I don't want to blind you guys with any lights or anything, but it is massive, which is perfect for travel, of course, because you don't want to have to pack an extra mirror. And then on this corner down here, it says Urban Decay Born to Run. So they have that kind of stamped all over the packaging, which I love. They're staying true to their brand. I got to decide on an eye look to do today. I don't know how I'm going to. Okay, so like I said, I already primed my eyes, already did my base, foundation, concealer, brows, so I'm just going to focus on the eye look for today. I kind of want to play with like some purples. Today. Alright, we might do that. I am starting off using this fluffy blending brush. I'm going to start off with the shade Weekender, just through my crease. I am noticing some kick up in the pan with the shadow. Not massive, a bit more than I would like. I would honestly compare it to the kick up that I had with the Anastasia palette. Not horrible, but again, it's there. Alright, so next I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Riff and put that in through my crease as well, just to deepen up the transition shade a little bit. I'm not going to take very much of this shade on my brush at all, just because I don't want it to become too orangey or brown. I just want it to be light transition. Alright, next I'm going in with the shade Hell Ride. I'm a little bit scared to use this color. It's very plum purpley, but at the same time I'm so drawn to it, so I'm just gonna do it. I took the tiniest amount of that on this fluffy blending brush again, and I'm gonna work that into my crease. But again, I took the smallest amount because I don't really know how pigmented these are yet, and I don't want it to be just like a purple blotch on my eye. I want it to be able to blend out smoothly. So especially with new eyeshadow palettes or new eyeshadows, I encourage you guys to really go in with a small amount first and work your way up until you figure out what the pigmentation is like. I actually really like how that blended out with the brown shade with Riff. It kind of softened the color a little bit, which I'm okay with. I am going to take just a little bit more of Hell Ride and go on this outer portion of my eye, more in the V. For that, I'm going to take this SL Miss Glam Precise Blending Brush, one I got from Ipsy. So I'm going to use that because, again, you can be a little bit more precise with it, as the name would suggest. Alright, so next I'm going to take the same fluffy blending brush from before and just blend that out a little bit better. It's very easy to blend, but I want to make sure we have absolutely zero harsh lines, so I like to blend as much as I can. Alright, so I'm going to dip into the very first shade in the palette, Breakaway. It almost looks matte when you look at it, but whenever you do swatch it, there is a bit of shimmer in it. I'm not mad at that at all. I was kind of hoping there'd be a shadow like that in this palette, and there is, which I really like. I'm just going to take that shade on my ring finger and pack it on my lid. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade Stranded and just put that right on the center of my eyelid. I kind of wish that gold would have shown up a little more pigmented. It's not horrible, but it could have been a little better for sure. Definitely could be a little better. Alright, I do want to go back into Hell Ride just to deepen up the outer V area. I'm underwhelmed with the gold shade. I feel like it could have been so much better. Alright, so I just decided to go ahead and put Stranded all over my eyelid. Alright, so what I did do is I put the shade Ignite right on the center of my eyelids. Now I'm going to go back into Stranded and put it on the rest of my inner eyelid part. Alright, I am pretty happy with that. Let me know what you guys think. It's kind of a purpley orange sunset, I feel like. I don't know, maybe I'm just trying to come up with adjectives at this point. We'll say the shadows do blend really well. Again, Stranded isn't quite as pigmented as I was hoping it would be, but whenever I went in with Ignite on the center of the lid, I was kind of getting the shade I was hoping. For that, I really just did a tiny amount of Ignite. I didn't do very much at all because I didn't want it too orangey. I just wanted it to be a little burst of color there. Alright, next, I think before eyeliner or mascara, I do want to do the lower lash line. For that, I'm going to go back into Hell Ride and pack it on a flat shader brush and blend out the lower outer part of that lash line. I'm then going to go in with Ignite on the center of the lower lash line. And then we're going to go in with Stranded on the inner corner of the lower lash line. Alright, and for the inner corner, we are going to go into the shade Breakaway. Just put that right in our inner corner. And I think I'm actually going to put that shade on my brow bone as well. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my face off camera, and then I will be back to talk about more of my first impressions of this Born to Run palette. Alright guys, we are back. Do you ever just have one of those days where you just, everything that could possibly go wrong with your makeup goes wrong? That's how today felt for me. I felt like I couldn't get the eyeshadow to come out how I was wanting it to. I don't think it ended up bad. Like I feel like it looks pretty decent, but like even my eyeliner, like these wings, I'm not gonna zoom in because these wings, they just are not, they aren't flying today. These wings are broken today. Mascara, I was putting my mascara on, of course I got some on my eyelids, so then I had to like take that off and then redo some of the eyeshadow. Okay, I actually just went and stepped away and looked in a mirror with some different lighting real quick, just to check out the eyeshadow, the look as a whole, in some different lighting, and I'm actually obsessed with how this eye look turned out. It's like exactly how I wanted it to be. I feel like it's like a purple sunset because you got like the orange and golds on the lid smoking up into the purple in my crease, and I am living for it. I had a battle. It was a battle to get this look to turn out decent. Anyway, we aren't talking about the struggles of makeup today. Today we're talking about my first impressions of this Born to Run palette. I really, really, really liked it. All the shadows, they really blended out beautifully. The only one I struggled with was that gold shade Stranded. It just wasn't as pigmented as I wanted it to be. The texture when I would swatch it was a little bit chalky, not really as creamy as I wanted it to be. That's not necessarily a bad thing if you can get the pigmentation you want, but it was just hard for me to build up that pigmentation. And again, maybe today I was just having an off day with makeup. Maybe I need to use a damp brush with that shadow to get the pigmentation I'm really wanting. I'll let you guys know in the future how that turns out, but I will say it does really have kind of everything you need. You got some nice matte neutrals that you can use for just an everyday look. You got a bright light shimmery shade in that shade Breakaway that is great on my brow bone, great for inner corner highlight, and then you still got the jet black that I can use as a liner pressed onto my lash line, and then you also got some of these gorgeous shimmery shades and some bright colors if you want to add a bit of drama, if you want to add a bit of fun and play to your look. So I do agree this palette's purpose is for it to be the ultimate travel eyeshadow palette, and I would agree with that 100%. They really thought into putting everything you could possibly need into this palette for travel. But so far my first impressions of this is I really, really like it. I feel like I can't base an entire palette off of one shadow. All the other shadows I used today, they blended out beautifully. They were pigmented. They were how I wanted them to be. Okay, you guys, but I do want to let you guys know a better review of what I think of the products that I tried in my last video of the haul that I did. So overall, I really, really liked all of the products. The Fenty Beauty Foundation, the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and the MAC Fix Plus setting spray. All of those, they last so well throughout the day. They just last beautifully. So does the Anastasia eyeshadow palette. All of those, their lasting and wearing power are so good. Granted, I haven't tried the Fenty Beauty foundation without setting it. I always set it with this spray. So maybe some of the staying power is to do with the fact I am using a setting spray. But I did use the foundation without a primer, and I feel like it still went on beautifully. It still lasted beautifully. I did notice you could see some of my pores a bit more when I wasn't using a primer versus when I did use a primer. I mean, that doesn't really bother me too much as long as it doesn't look like caked into the pores. Basically, you could just tell that I had pores, and like, I don't know, that doesn't really bother me because in my opinion, like, everybody has pores, you know? Alright, you guys, so that is pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry it was a little all over the place. You know, sometimes makeup just doesn't go how you want it to go, and it's always so frustrating when that happens. But if you did like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Of course, you can always follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter if you so desire. I'd love to see you guys over there. So anyway, that is it for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!